On the headlines, scholars say Ethiopia's landlocked reality undermines growth and investment. And Ethiopia's healthcare progress shines on the global stage. Welcome to ABC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism, with the news. I'm Tegesar Nisa. Do stay with us. Ethiopia and France have reaffirmed their commitment to deepen economic cooperation and strengthen bilateral relations during a meeting in Paris on the sidelines of the EU-Ethiopia Investment Conference. Ethiopian Finance Minister Ahmed Shideh met with Nicolas Frozire, France's Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness, to discuss expanding French investment in advancing shared development priorities. The two sides highlighted their long-standing partnership and pledged to promote sustainable and inclusive growth through collaboration in industrial development, renewable energy infrastructure, agro-processing, and digital transformation. Minister Ahmed thanked France for its continued support as chair of Ethiopia's official creditors committee under the G20 common framework and through institutions such as the IMF and the World Bank. The French side welcomed these efforts and expressed readiness to boost cooperation via trade facilitation, private sector engagement, and new investment partnerships. Both parties agreed to continue discussions during the French minister's planned visit to Ethiopia in May 2026. The Ethiopian electric utility EEU and French energy giant Electric de France EDF have signed a technical and training support agreement to modernize Ethiopia's modern medium voltage power transition network. The deal concluded during the Ethiopian Europe Investment Forum in Paris focuses on enhancing live line maintenance to ensure safer and more reliable power supply across the country. EEU CEO Getu Geramo said the partnership will boost the utility's technical capacity and advance Ethiopia's broader power sector modernization efforts. He noted that the collaboration will help build a resilient, efficient, and customer-centered utility while expanding electricity access nationwide. Alongside the EDF agreement, EEU also held discussions with Kenya's Temes Electricals Limited on establishing local manufacturing of electrical infrastructure components. According to EEU Communications Executive Anwar Abrar, the initiative reflects Ethiopia's commitment to strengthen its energy sector through international partnerships and domestic industrial development. Ethiopia is firmly committed to conserving its biodiversity, preserving cultural heritage, and promoting resilient livelihoods, State Minister of Tourism Seleshi Girma said at the opening of the 25th Global Wildlife Programme Annual Conference. Describing Ethiopia as a land of deep heritage and ecological richness, Seleshi highlighted that Ethiopia's ongoing transformations, including strategic investments in infrastructure, nature-based tourism, and the Green Legacy Initiative, are driving ecological sustainability and inclusive development. He noted that the country's protected area are evolving into engines of conservation and community empowerment, supported by major projects such as Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and riverside developments. Echoing these remarks, senior researcher Faniel Kabbada of the Ethiopian Wildlife Authority emphasized Ethiopia's remarkable ecology diversity, with landscapes ranging from high mountains to low-lying deserts. He said ongoing conservation work under the Green Legacy Initiative and efforts to expand nature-based tourism demonstrate Ethiopia's commitment to linking environmental protection with sustainable growth and community well-being. Ethiopia's landlocked status over the past 35 years has imposed heavy economic costs, hindering its development and limiting foreign direct investment compared to neighboring coastal nations. This assessment comes from Ibrahim Mulushawa, a prominent historian and political analyst who also serves as a chief executive director of the Center of the National and Regional Integration Studies, a leading local civil society organization focused on regional cooperation and policy research. The political analyst emphasized that restoring maritime access or developing strategic alternatives is essential for unlocking Ethiopia's full economic potential and strengthening its regional integrations efforts. We have the following report by Kason Jani.
A renowned historian and political analyst, Chief Executive Director with a renowned local civil society organization at the National and Regional Integration Studies, Dr. Ibrahim Mulushawa, revealed the stark economic disadvantages, stating Ethiopia's lack of sea access, which was denied for the last 35 years, has a substantial economic impact.
Ethiopia's access to the sea was not to be denied, but it was a mistake by the then government, EPRDF, and they gave it without consulting the Ethiopian people. And we can see many newspapers at that time opposing that. We can see opposition parties opposing, denying Ethiopia of access to the sea, you know. That is why it is always in our frame of mind that access to the sea, especially that sea, which is only 60 kilometers far away from us.
According to the Chief Executive Director, the denial of direct sea access is a relatively recent phenomenon, contrasting sharply with the Haile Selassie era when Ethiopia maintained a coastal frontier.
During the Derg period, you cannot imagine that Ethiopia without its access to the sea. During the Haile Selassie period, no. That is why in 1941, when Italy left the area, Ethiopia was arguing in favor of having Eritrea to its side to be part of it. One of the most important reasons was access to the sea. That is why the international community at that time believed and was convinced to give Ethiopia its part, Eritrea.
This historical perspective highlights that Ethiopia's current landlocked status represents a significant departure from years past and a dark period for EU's strategic economic interests. This direct correlation between sea access and economic vitality means landlocked nations struggle more to attract the foreign capital essential for industrialization, job creation, and overall prosperity, he said. He concluded that addressing this historical denial is not just about correcting past wrong, but is an imperative for Ethiopia's future economic resilience and growth, advocating for renewed focus on securing strategic maritime access to unlock the nation's full economic promise.
The World Health Organization has praised Ethiopia for its remarkable progress in improving the quality and accessibility of health services, describing the country's achievements as a model for others to follow. Professor Francis Chisaka Kasolo, World Health Organization representative to Ethiopia in the African Union and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, lauded Ethiopia's sustained commitment to strengthening its healthcare systems. He highlighted that the nation's initiatives to expand access and elevate services standards demonstrates practical lessons that can inspire similar efforts across the region. We have the following dispatch. Approached by the Ethiopian news agency WHO representative to Ethiopia, the African Union, and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, Professor Francis Chisaka Kasolo noted that Ethiopia has registered significant progress in the health sector over the past few years, indicating that other countries can learn a lot from Ethiopia's pharmaceutical production systems and more.
It's really exciting times for Ethiopia, with all the progress they're making in health development. Other countries to come and learn from them on how they can, for example, develop their health systems, how they can manufacture safe medicines and products, and in so doing promote Africa in general. And hopefully, going forward, this is what we envisage Ethiopia becoming.
He further indicated that the organization is working closely with Ethiopia in the health sector, noting that this partnership will be intensified.
We've also worked very closely with the Ethiopian government in the area of emergency or health security, that's preparing the people and country of Ethiopia to face any emergencies that may occur. And recently we had the pandemic of COVID. We continued working with Ethiopia to ensure that this was controlled. We also have moved into new areas looking at how we can help Ethiopia become a manufacturing hub for medicines and medical products.
Professor Castolo stated that WHO is exploring ways to support Ethiopia in its bid to become a pharmaceutical manufacturing hub in Africa. Now a quick reminder of the top stories before I go. Scholars say Ethiopia's landlocked reality undermines growth and investments. And Ethiopia's healthcare progress shines on the global stage. That's all we had for this news hour. Many thanks for staying with us. Goodbye.